Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Right, today we've got a map from a creator we've reviewed 3 times in the past, episodes 721, 793 and 834, where they got 10, 11 and 11 stars. Today's map is their best map so far by a country mile. It is definitely going up a step to a higher division. My first thought when I looked at this was, though, it's a little bit off-centre. I'd like to see a little bit more landmass in the middle of the map. Having looked at it closer, though, it doesn't really break the game at all. Certainly works still, and I think you're going to like this one. So if you're going to like it, you know you ought to like it. That's right, hitting the like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. So thank you for your support. Today's map is Sutton Bay by Captain Alex. Right, so we're going to be looking at sort of like the coast of Maine, apparently. Not been there myself, but certainly feels like the coast of Maine from pictures and stuff. There's your start square. We've got a little bit of water down the side there. That'll do. There's your terrain heights. Plenty of flattish land around the coasts. And those islands look very, very tempting indeed. Then you've got your resources. Now, if you've got industries, those resources are accessible. If you haven't, then a bit of farming and forestry, of course. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, mass transit is essential. Park life is preferable, but not essential. 1 or 2 little bits for park life. And then we have a one-click collection and a nice read. Do have a read. Some settings there. We'll be using the theme mixer 2 for a very special Sutton Bay theme mix. And then we'll be using Relight Bleak as well. 81 tiles isn't absolutely essential, but if you want to use it, it'll just give you access to a bit more as well. And we've got a few of Grey Flame's fantastic new rocks there too. So all good indeed. Let's go and have a little drive through. This is going to be quite a little relaxing segment to the show. We're not flying over highways or stopping and jarring, going, look, jinky janky, broken bit here. We can see a bit of blue mantle under. None of that today. It is a really... I was so tempted actually just to go down to ground level and to drive along the road. It just has a real lovely vibe to it. But if we did that, we wouldn't be able to see the rock work on the coast so well. And I figured, no, hovering, doing a little helicopter flyby is probably a little bit better. Got some nice rocks there again. Good rock work, very nice beaches. In fact, thinking about it, I don't really look at the beaches in today's show, but... So out the corner of your eye, please notice the beaches, because this is about as close as you're going to get to some of the beaches. We'll be having a look at the rocks and the trees, and a few feature areas as well. Very nice work. A little bit of a switchback there, going down slightly down the gradient. It's a little bit steeper than it looked that bit without actually being steep. So again, very nice indeed. And just basically cruising through the forests of Maine. And it's nice. It's the whole thing has just a real nice vibe to it. And I could have just cruised over this, well, for ages, to be honest with you. If they'd made this map, hang on a second, 81 times 81. Yeah, you could have gone 81 by 81 tiles. I could just carried on following this. This should have been lovely. Oh, wow. If we had maps that size, wouldn't it be amazing? Oh, we're so greedy though, aren't we? We're so greedy. Back in the day where you got 1 tile and that was it. Yeah, in certain games, we won't mention these certain games, but yeah, you got a tile and that's your one. And what we got now is, I mean, it's just, we're not happy with the 25 tiles. We've got to have the 81 tiles all unlocked. It's crazy. That lake up there, we'll have a little glance at it later on. I say lake, apparently they're called ponds. And I always thought the pond was what was separating the United States from Europe. But nope, no, apparently those are ponds. Little bear off right here past the, avoiding the crossroads, which is, again, very nicely done. Quite like the way that's been done. And now down into the start square, we've got a cracker of an asset today. And absolutely, you're going to love it. You're going to subscribe straight off to this one. absolutely sure you're going to be doing. Once you get a close look at this, you're going to be straight onto it. It's a modern parking garage by KingLeno, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I think the bottom tier is live parking, and the rest of it is for props. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. So yes, yeah, props on the higher levels just to fill it out. And factoids, because factoids, and today's factoid is wrong. Whoever compiled this book back in the 1980s inverted the, well, American date into English date. So anyway, Marlon Brando was born on this day in 1924, the 4th of March. It was actually the 3rd of April, but you know where we're going with this one. During his stormy career, he won 2 Oscars as an actor in a leading role for On the Waterfront and for The Godfather. He was somewhat of a bit of a love-hate relationship with the film industry, where he said, if you ain't talking about him, he ain't listening, apparently. What a great quote. Anyway, Parking Garage by KingLeno. That is today's asset of the day. But yes, I'm now wondering how many of my factoids are wrong, because I only glanced at that one. Marlon Brando, I thought I'd just do a little bit of research out of nowhere. Went onto Wiki and went, hey, 3rd of April? No. And then, in fact, I know what it was. I was checking to see whether he was still alive. Because the way that it read in the factoid, it was like, had him still alive. Obviously, when the book was written, it was. So I checked to see if he passed away, and of course he had in 2004. And then I noticed the date of birth was wrong. So I double checked it through IMDb, and that was wrong too. I love this bridge. And if you have a little look at the wooden struts holding it up, those are from Parklife. So if you haven't got Parklife, you won't have them. But it's not really essential. You don't need Parklife for this one. There's probably a little bit of wildlife here or there as well, dotted around from the Parklife DLC. Maybe, possibly, I don't know. Right, follow the road along. Now, my biggest grumble with the whole map is probably this switchback. This switchback seems to have been done just to be a showcase. Because if we have a look, I mean, it's nicely done. These rocks are very, very nicely done. And it certainly looks like it's needed as a switchback. But what we're going to do is we're going to turn the terrain lines on. I want to show you how... Get terrain lines on. Thank you. I want to show you the incline from that bend onto, it's what, 5 meters, if that. You could just follow that line up gently, and that would have merged in quite happily. So I don't really think the switchback was absolutely essential. Call it a detailing foible. Foible is today's word, I think. It's nothing, it's not bad. It was just a showcase, and very well done indeed. Speaking of showcasing, we'll see a little bit of showcasing with the rocks in a minute on the right hand side of the highway as the national road as we're coming along here. And again, the rock work along here. We're not going to come back and have another look at this, so we'll have a little look at it now. Again, it looks absolutely amazing. It is so well done, so nicely done, 100% believing in it, and we'll move on. Yeah, just a showcase. In fact, the whole map's a bit of a showcase, isn't it? Little areas like this. Got some more things to look at after the intermission and the shipping. But we've just got to get off to the edge of the map first before we can do any of that. So a little wisp to the left, a little wisp to the right, and back to the left. Got another one of those crossroads with a little bypass on it, which is, again, very nicely done. And now down towards the fog.
Wouldn't it be great if Cities Skylines had tides within the game? Well, now it does, thanks to TPB's Tides mods. Want to know more? Then you need BonBonB's Tides tutorial. Click the information button below.
And so back to Sutton Bay by Captain Alex and shipping routes. Now we have a shipping route that went straight on there, which just follows a parallel line with the shipping route on our right there, which we'll follow in a moment. This one just goes into the bay and stops dead. And then we've got one that runs parallel on the other side of the islands to this one, which when we get to the end over here, we'll find a little right angle, but not right angle turn there, nicely curved off. That meets up over there with it. And then this one comes down towards the edge of the map. And I would say all bases are covered. Water flow. Now, water flow, it's not game breaking at all. It's just, I don't know, it feels tidal. There's some dead water in this area here somewhere, because the water comes downstream and now it's coming upstream. So there's some dead water in that little patch up there. But in the start square, which is, start square is just around the corner from here. So this is dead. Well, there's a slight water flow there. And then, yeah, just around this corner here, there is water motion. And I'm quite happy with it. It's just about workable for that sort of style of gameplay. All told, very nice indeed. All right, let's have a look at some of the shapes of these islands. Why not? It just feels creative and fun and bright and sunny, and wants to encourage you to build a medium big city. Like, I would fill this entire island up with something. I'd go crazy. Oh, and we've got a lovely jetty down here. Jetty is absolutely beautifully done. And then we've got the central lighthouse on the end of this little walkout. Wonder where they got those uprights from for the other bridge. Might be this bridge. It's very tidily done. Very happy with it. Very nice. Good work indeed there. Now if we go across to the next island for another essential lighthouse. Let me show you what happens. If we come down here, got this road going down the backbone of the island. And at the very end here, this is what happens when you don't put down a lighthouse. See? That's what happens. This is why lighthouses are essential. It stops that from happening. And then down here we have a very nicely done fort. Another essential lighthouse as well. And the fort is very tidy. Can't grumble about that at all. That's very nice indeed. It's got that true American kind of vibe to it. You see a lot of those on the Americas. And then down here, we've got the coastline down here is amazing. Got a slight variation of the essential lighthouse down here. It's been used in conjunction with the burnt out shack. And while I've seen that in real life myself, I don't think the two go together. I bow to the effort, and it's a valiant effort. I just don't think the combo works. But yes, it is a thing. It is a thing, and I'm going to see lots of photos of that sort of thing in real life now. I just know it. Anyway, lots of rocks, prop rocks up on the hills, which isn't necessarily a problem at all. But if you've got a limit of a prop count issue, I'll get those words out in a moment, they might be an issue for you. And then we've got this, I mean, the lakes are just lovely. The lakes are just lovely. The colours are amazing. This theme mix has got a really lovely vibe to it. I've got to say that. Got this little ponds down here as well. I still call it a lake, but if they're called ponds, they're called ponds. It's like locks in Scotland. I'm not doing the accent. In Scotland, locks in Scotland and such. And of course, the lakes in the Lake District. None of them. Well, only one of them's a lake. So hey, never mind. Right, let's settle this camera down somewhere. Give you a chance to vote on the map. Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. What do I think? Yes. Yes. All the way down the line. It's got to be, surely. Aesthetically, it's glorious. Absolutely glorious. I don't know what I would do to improve it. So on that, I'm going to just give it 5 stars. I think anything I would do would actually make it worse. Detailing. I think we've got that foible with the switchback. And I don't know. I think maybe a few more bits of erosion possibly to add a bit more life into the hills. 4 stars. It's excellent though. It's excellent work. Gameplay potential. I think the only temptation here is I would like to see, I know the sort of geography says we've got to have this national road. I'd like to see a little bit more in the word, like a highway going through, like just something to enable us to build a bigger city if we wanted to. I'm going to give it a very high 4 stars though, because there's, strictly speaking, there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. So it's excellent work. So Sutton Bay by Captain Alex. Oh, that's a lot of stars, isn't it? I better throw in one of these little fellas as well. The BonBonB seal of approval. Excellent. No, I'm so glad that Captain Alex has actually got out a map which has really turned my eye and gone, hey, hang on a minute, this is a good map. And it surely is. Now tomorrow we've got another map. This one will be from Austria. Anybody want to go to Austria tomorrow? Well, I've got one from Austria. Right, that's it anyway. Thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking and for subscribing. Join me tomorrow for the Austrian map, and we'll be back with plenty more later on in the week. Thanks for watching.